and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Zoe Lyons and Russell Kane, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what is going on here?
Worst stag do ever.
Is it the picture that Angela Merkel's going to send David Cameron for his Christmas card?
This is just a mark of how confident the German team were, because that is actually before the game.
Angela Merkel is actually in the starting 11.
Yeah. It's nice to see a picture, though, of German men with one arm in the air that doesn't feel threatening, isn't it?
There was a lot of that when you watch the celebrations, though. People were like, hey, and you just like, oh, come on, just throw the other one up, Pete. Just throw the other one up.
Do you reckon Wayne Rooney looked at that picture and thought, why couldn't we have had a prostitute that age? That's right on that street.
People accuse the Germans of arrogance, but this photo was, in fact, it was actually taken at the end of Neymar's hospital bed.
But I need someone to tell me what it is. We all know what it is.
You actually need someone to tell you?
Yes, because I have not seen any of these things. Who are these men and what is this event that they're attending? Please, I have recently landed in this country from foreign shores. And I'm unfamiliar with your traditions.
It's the German team in the dressing room having won the World Cup with Chancellor Merkel.
Absolutely, of course. Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis. Yes, of course. This is a picture of the victorious German football team celebrating their World Cup win in the dressing room with Chancellor Angela Merkel. Germany defeated Argentina in the final by a single goal from Mario Götze in extra time, becoming the first European team ever to win a World Cup in South America. Were you shouting for anyone or not for anyone? Or
most English people were shouting for Germany, which is a first, really, isn't it? Let's face it. But I guess compared to Argentina, you know, people found Germany preferable on the whole, because at least they don't keep asking us to give them France back, do they? So...
I mean, personally, I was at a Six Senses spa having a paraffin wrap, so I didn't catch it.
Zoe, were you watching?
I did watch it. It's difficult as an England fan to watch Germany versus Argentina. You're just like, it's like typhoid or cholera. Which would you prefer?
Is it still a thing, though? Is it still?
I think it is still a thing because I was kind of backing Germany because we hate them less now. Yeah.
I thought it was... I didn't mind who won. I just, like... It was a good game, but I found it very difficult just watching as an England fan because it all gone so wrong for England. And I bet if you're watching in 4 years' time on Dave, we're still shit, aren't we?
I could never support the Argentinians, not after what Maradona did, Wembley 2003. He didn't sing Material Girl.
The one I love, the guy I love being there was Putin, because he was there because they're hosting the next one, isn't it?
Yes.
And every country that hosts it is desperate to win. And he must have been looking at that final thinking, the only way that Russia are going to win is if we invade Germany.
Putin sitting next to Blatter was the finest photograph in the history of democracy. How do you win your elections? Oh, I never run against anyone. Me neither! High five! High five!
The death of Brazilian football. That's what they'd witnessed.
Oh, yeah.
Not funny, but
that was
interesting.
Well, you say that. It was kind of funny. There was, because a few weeks ago I was talking about the head, you know, the way they were overemphasising the pretty women in the crowd type shots all the time. And I said, and I on the show called for more shots of children crying. Yeah. And then when they posted, there's that one of a small boy just blubbing his eye, and he's pushing his glasses out of his face, and he's got a Coca-Cola can, which is beautiful branding, absolutely spectacular branding, and he's weeping into it. And I got sent that image 4,000 or 5,000 times on Twitter in the minute after it was posted with the words "Happy now." Yes, I was. I went through it.
I think Brazil got humiliated, but did you see Joe Hart in that shampoo ad? No, obviously not.
There was headlines about Brazil going, England was finally we know shame. And you're going, You are aware what the rest of the world refers to when they say a Brazilian. You are aware your name was not always merely associated with beautiful football, but also pubic topiary.
That's probably the problem. Their formation's just too narrow. They have to play 1-1-1-1-1-1-1. And the goalie was the arsehole.
You know, in the semi-final, when Neymar was injured, they made him sit on the bench in full kit. Did you see that?
Yeah.
As a sort of talisman. And you think that is ridiculous. He's not allowed to play. Who would we do that with? You would have to do that with Bobby Charlton. That's the only thing we do.
We should do that, though. We should just have Frankie Boyle just sitting there. In a purple suit, just not saying anything.
Just angrily staring across at any use of women. As a non-sports fan, are you relieved it's over, though?
The main thing that was fascinating for me about British culture is the fact the viewing figures went up when it started to go horribly wrong for Brazil. That says everything about us as a culture, particularly our men, like people like my dad, whose humour... I mean, the last time my dad laughed was when he saw a Jaguar written off on the M11. That's the time he's... Look at the state of that. People in Britain, it's like, oh, I can't stand football. Brazil are losing, people are sobbing. Switch it on. Classic.
I wasn't impressed with Mr. Messi, though. It wasn't like the book at all.
Of course, Luis Suarez has gone to Barcelona now. 75 million. He apparently had a celebration meal with his mum in Uruguay. Well, I say he had a celebration meal. Apparently, he lost his balance and the meal hit him in the teeth.
And on the BBC, it also coincided with Alan Hansen's last game, didn't it? And nobody asked him the question I've always wanted to ask him about that scar and when he was attacked by Lord Voldemort.
I wonder if any old German war criminals gave themselves away watching that match, because there's a few of them in Argentina, isn't there? If they were watching it in their local pub and they just went, yes! Oh, no, sorry.
One campaign, by the way, that also slightly backfired is Singapore ran an anti-gambling campaign about a young kid called Andy, and it was about how Andy's dad had wasted their family's money because he was a gambler, and Singapore wants to stamp out gambling. But it wasn't quite as heart-rending as it could have been because of the scripting of the ad. This is the poster they had for it. I hope Germany wins. My dad bet all my savings on that. So the ad was basically,
now you're going to two universities.
Hey, little Andy's going to Disneyland. Because gambling pays off. In other news, how has David Cameron been shaking things up this weekend?
He's shuffled around the cabinet. It's like the Tour de France. He's got rid of lots of the big names, hasn't he? They've all fallen over. But the one person who's still in the same job is Eric Pickles, which, according to the thing I read, is because he's very difficult to move.
They were thinking of giving him a sideways move, apparently. Yeah. But then they decided it was easier to leave him where he was and move everybody else around him.
Yes, he wanted to update his cabinet described as male, pale and stale, which does sound a bit... It should be done like that. I mean, this cabinet is male, pale and stale. Fail.
I just want to know what Nick Clegg does on a day when they reshuffle the cabinet. If he just sits at home in his own cabinet going, oh, I'll put the rice near the spaghetti. Good job.
In theory, it's supposed to show that he's being very pro-women. You know, it's very positive for women that he's added more women to the cabinet. But one of the women he added was a woman called Nicky Morgan, who previously was the Minister for Women, and now she's Education Secretary, but still Minister for Women. So that's how important the job of Minister for Women is. You can still do that, and this other full-time job.
I just find it creepy when a load of old Tories go, we need more women in the cabinet, and you can just see all the women shuffling past. Can you get through there, you skinny thing? Just... Ken Clark's gone as well, hasn't he?
Ken Clark has gone,
Do you reckon he'll resign in jazz because he's really into it? I'm leaving. Because
Ken Clark do all... Does he scat everything he does? Yeah.
That's why he had to leave. Inappropriate.
Get to the point, Ken. Get to the point. Stop soloing. Stop riffing on it.
The Euro.
Ken.
And apparently the cabinet now is more Eurosceptic. But imagine thinking that Europe doesn't actually exist. I mean, I had a near Europe experience once when I was on holiday in Kent. I found myself walking along a tunnel towards the light. In the end, someone said, bonjour. That's so unfair, I thought I led a good life.
You're never quite sure which week Milton is actually mocking, are you?
At the end of that round, the points are going to Russell, Zoe and Andy. Now we play a round called Ich bin ein Berwinner. This game involves Zoe and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round's the stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is drinking. Who wants to come in on that? Zoe.
I like a drink. Realised I was probably drinking a bit too much recently when I turned to a friend not so long ago and, oh, that is a very nice breakfast wine. I like a bit of rosé. Who doesn't like a bit of rosé? Or princess petrol, as I like to call it. Favourite wine, obviously, the box of wine. I enjoy a box of wine. People are snobby about boxes of wine in this country. I'm like, no, wine you can stack. It's brilliant. I love a box of wine because glass is so revealing, isn't it? It's transparent. It tells a tale, doesn't it? You can see how much you've had of a bottle of wine. But you can't see through my cardboard box of wine, can you? You have no idea how much of this 5-litre box of wine I have slowly but steadily been sipping my way through during the course of this shitty party. Sometimes I just stick a big straw in the top and pretend it's a massive Ribena. Giving, doesn't it? It keeps giving. You think it should be finished by now. You get to the end, you do all the classic things, you tip it on its side, you depress the little stopper. That's where an amateur will stop. They will discard the box of wine. But a connoisseur like myself, we know there's more. There's more lurking, isn't there? You rip open the cardboard head. You pull out the silvery intestines and you play what I like to refer to as the alcoholic bagpipe into your own glass.
So that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is communication. Where you go?
Is it just me, or the instructions to electrical goods these days far too complicated? I mean, I just don't know that many languages. Words are powerful things. Sometimes a single letter H can attract helicopters. That's to be a big one. Hours I spent watching that hot tap. Similes. What are they like? Of course, years ago in Wales, the letter T went on strike, and they had the Great Tea Strike of 1922, or as they had to call it, the Great E-Rike of 1922. Everyone had to get to work by ram. In the end, the strike was broken, and the T's had to get together with random groups of consonants, and that is how the Welsh language was formed. Nuisance phone calls. Oh, they put the bills up. I can't even count to 10 in French, and trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept. Sorry, I've got a wheat allergy.
Well done. Running that round, points for Zoe. Come on, sit back down again. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Russell, which category would you like?
Technology, please.
OK, technology. The answer is 4 years. What is the question?
Is that the amount of time it would take that Magaluf girl to orally pleasure every man on the planet?
Is it how long till Germany win the World Cup again?
Is it for how long have I been writing a sitcom now?
How's that going to go?
Oh, it's going to be my ticket off this show.
One Direction are rumoured to be splitting up. What is the average age of people who give a shit?
Is it the average response time of the snail ambulance?
Is it if Scotland become independent, what are they planning on reducing the legal drinking age to?
If you add it all up, how much of your life do you spend standing in a room going, what did I come in here for?
Is it, Dara, is it? How long have I wanted to tell you that I love you?
Back off!
Is it the actual number of years Mick Hucknall could hold back before he looked like a clown dipped in acid?
How long does it take the average person in Rotherham to eat 5 fruit and veg?
Potato is a veg. The correct answer is...
When are they going to try and build a spaceport in the UK?
It is absolutely right. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Well done. Yes, the question I was looking for was, how long will it be before the UK gets its very own spaceport? This is the news that Britain is to build a commercial spaceport which should be operational in 2018. It is almost ludicrously close, because by that means that you'll be able to actually take off and look down and see HS2 not being built. Are you excited? How exciting is this?
Oh, it's very exciting. I mean, Virgin Galactic, they're going to take off at the end of this year, apparently, in New Mexico. And Richard Branson says he's going to be on the first flight. Now, given his success with his ballooning, that is a very brave move, isn't it?
It's ludicrous to call it Virgin Galactic is what it's called, isn't it? But you know how they only go 62 miles up? That's it, don't they? They get to the outer edges of the atmosphere. And that isn't actually that exciting, is it? That's like saying at the beginning of Star Wars, a long time ago, in a galaxy as far away as London is from Portsmouth.
They're talking about putting it in Scotland, but like one of the places they were talking about putting it on an island, the Hebrides, Benbecula or somewhere like that. And they come back going, oh, it's unlikely, though, because people won't want to go that far to go into space. If you can't be arsed dragging yourself to the Hebrides, perhaps space isn't for you.
I wouldn't want to go on a Sunday because that, let's face it, that is a bloody long bus replacement service all the way to...
Isn't British space control, like air traffic control, isn't it going to be in Swindon? Isn't that where it is?
I have no idea where British space control is.
It goes,
no.
Swindon, we have a problem.
Oh,
All right, my lover.
Surely it'll be Swindon, we have a problem. Well, we're in Swindon.
Yes, I don't know how it works. So do you literally just go up and down? Do you go round a bit?
You go up and down. Just
literally up and down.
You're already spinning
Not
with
even
us.
across a bit.
Wow, we really are so down on this. I'm genuinely surprised at the lack of one. No, it sounds shit.
If there was somebody up there pretending to be an alien attacking the craft or something like that, that would make it more worth it.
So they should position somebody up
Hot
there.
air balloon. A high-level hot air balloon that throws, just sprays it with silly string even, to look like alien tentacles.
So you go to 60 miles where you see the curvature of the Earth and the stars above, but you don't think that's sufficiently exciting. You expect 6 minutes of weightlessness where somebody goes, oh no, now we're under attack. Wah, wah, wah.
Call me a dreamer.
The lamest bunch of people in the world.
Bunch of weirdos.
OK, different topic. What NHS operations might more people be eligible for soon?
We're going to be able to get gastric bypasses on the NHS. More fat people will be eligible for them, apparently. you're wondering whether they really need a gastric bypass or whether they need a Greg's bypass just to avoid the shop in the first place.
By the way, just to be... we don't say fat people. The term is jolly or... or, for those who are extremely case, morbidly jolly.
Apparently there's so many fat people now, right, is that people don't feel that they're fat because they're surrounded by lots of other fat people. Yeah. So the secret, if you do want to lose some weight, right, is not actually to lose any weight if you're feeling fat. Just hang around other fat people. You'll feel much better about yourself.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Sometimes when I feel I'm too funny, I come on this show. That sounded like I was slagging you off. It
did sound that way, and they rather enjoyed it.
Yes.
No, the one I hate is when people say, all I've got to do is look at a cake and I put on weight. That's the worst line. I actually tested it. I kidnapped someone, I locked them in the room and I just showed cake at the window. 2 weeks later, dead and thin. What a lie.
They often talk about the obesity time bomb, don't they? The obesity time bomb. You just think, God, I really hope I'm not in the area when that goes off.
These days, people eat too much and they don't go out. Yes, the obese agoraphobic is very much the elephant in the room.
They produced a league table of the obese nations, the obesity league table. America was on top of the table. I think we were third. But you think an obesity league table, surely that was crying out for a pie chart.
A very amusing joke, but mathematically incorrect. OK. At the end of that round, the point's going to Ed, Hugh and Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear in court.
We, the jury, have yet to reach a final verdict, but we would like to have a guess. Is it Mrs. Peacock with a candlestick in the library?
The defendant is, as you can see, an evil man with a black heart, but nice, firm buttocks.
The Guildford 4 and the Birmingham 6 were miscarriages of justice. But S Club 7 must remain in prison.
If I'm guilty of anything, it's caring too much. And embezzlement. Embezzlement and caring too much. That's all I'm guilty of.
It appears that we have a hung jury. Thank you, gentlemen. You can put your trousers back on now.
OK, Mr. Pistorius, there will now be a toilet break. Don't anybody else go in there!
Before I pass down this sentence of death, how about a selfie? Oh, my God, your death face is so random.
You are accused of stealing top-of-the-range toilet rolls. How do you plead? Quilty or not quilty?
No, Mr. Coulson, we're not going to tell you your sentence. Instead, we've left a message for you on Hugh Grant's voicemail.
I am now going to pronounce sentence. Sentence.
Mr. Clapton, I put it to you that it is highly unlikely that you did not shoot the deputy, given that you have already admitted that you did shoot the sheriff.
OK, rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. Oh, alibi.
Well, it's been a long and complex trial, so before sentencing, let's have a look at some of your best bits.
Mr. Pistorius, the court rejects your defence that at the time of the crime you were legless.
And now, Mr. Harris, it is time for your sentence. Can you tell what it is yet?
You are accused of unnecessarily advertising a make-up smoothie. How do you plead? Be careful.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear in a nature documentary.
Watch out for Crocs, because anybody wearing Crocs is a bellend.
What's incredible about the emperor penguin is its ability to make you look like a shit father.
This is the most fantastic migration I've ever seen. These Romanians are moving in next door to Nigel Farage.
If you're in the jungle for a few months, use a leaf and some river moss from a bank. It really does feel like a lady.
Well, it took some pliers and an awful lot of gaffer tape, but I finally got this flamingo's legs on the right way around.
I have spent my whole life living with hyenas. It hasn't been easy, but there have been a lot of laughs as well.
The barbs that come off these tiny creatures can be very painful. This one just called me a talentless wanker.
The pack of meerkats surrounded the helpless lizard, and within seconds, he'd been forced to change his car insurance supplier.
The comics or jesterlings all jostle for position, eager to present their humour to the large alpha male.
A badger in its natural environment, on the hard shoulder being pecked at by crows.
This lioness has just had 4 cubs, but it's not as sweet as it looks. She's also had 3 brownies, 2 guides and a venture scout.
And this little fella, this little bird, his head can literally turn 300 and... That's owls, isn't it?
And now the male attempts you-know-what by putting his thingamajig in the female's whatchamacallit.
And here I am in the shrubbery outside the BBC Centre, and I think I've spotted one. This is extremely rare. It's a female panellist.
Just one bite from this snake can paralyse the nervous system in 3 seconds.
You'll have to excuse the trembling excitement in my voice, as I'm currently being noshed off by Bill Oddie.
OK, again, that round of podcast, Russell, Zoe and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Zoe Lyons and Russell Kane. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Jack D, Ben Miller, Miles Jupp and Aisling B are trying not to make the audience laugh in half an hour in David Baddiel's new show on Radio 4. Well, here on BBC 2 next, it's Newsnight.
and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Josh Widdicombe, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Catherine, which category would you like?
Politics.
OK, politics is the category. The answer is 307 years. What is the question?
Is it, how long does an episode of Tumble feel like?
Is it how long before it's safe to play a wobble board again?
In many ways, the wobble board industry was the real victim of all that.
Is it how much older than her face do Madonna's hands look?
Is it, what's the age of Alexander Armstrong plus Tess Daly plus Claudia Winkleman times Blue Ivy minus Rachel Riley plus me plus the Queen?
Now you're off by a couple of years.
Is it how long before climate change will change Scotland into a viable holiday destination?
Dara, if loving you was illegal, how long would they have to sentence me for?
Really creepy.
Is it what is the combined age of 307 One Direction fans?
Is it without the plastic surgery, how old did Joan Rivers look? Tragedy plus time.
There's no plus time with Joan Rivers.
It's how long her body will take to decompose. Sorry, Joan.
It's what she would have wanted.
Peace out, Joan. Peace out. OK?
When will the Jeremy Kyle show run out of scum?
No,
That's excellent.
Distance myself from that sentiment. OK, does anyone want to give the actual answer? 307 years. Come on.
How long has Scotland been a part of Great Britain?
That's absolutely right, yes. Yes, the question I was looking for was how long has it been since the union between England and Scotland came into being? Ahead of next week's referendum in Scotland, a YouGov poll suggested support for independence is in the lead for the first time, although other surveys indicate the No campaign is still just ahead. It's a very highly charged issue and lots of people very strongly about it, so it's important that we're not seen here to be taking sides, we remain impartial. Also helps that there are literally no Scottish people appearing on the show this week. That is not a coincidence. No Scottish people publicly want to give this opinion on this. No, I'm not available that week.
Is it just me, or every time you hear YouGov, do you want to go, yes, Squire?
I know the Scottish people don't like it when people who aren't Scottish discuss it, though, because there is that sort of, well, it's nothing to do with you. But it does affect all of us. You know, whether if Scotland go independent, that'll affect everybody. Particularly, you know, every country on the planet will now have to buy an embassy in Scotland. And, you know, Greece can't afford a house in Edinburgh.
Certainly not during the festival time.
Oh, no.
Ireland, Greece and Portugal, we'll have to get together and, like, share a flat in Falkland.
It will affect everybody, though, won't it? You know, if Scotland go independent, the chance of a united Ireland is that much greater. Good chance that Wales will then leave, Yorkshire will leave, Cornwall will leave. It'll be the more united queendom of Lesser Britain and no Ireland. That is what it will be.
I think we should just do a thing where like a kind of one out, one in policy. So when they go, we'll, like, get Mexico. And then, if England want to go, in the end, we could have a whole new lineup, like, you know, the Sugar Babes.
Because you're giving it going to be Mexico, Syria and Mucha Buena. Could be the United Kingdom. Yeah.
Mexico is edging its way in. I've noticed a lot more burrito availability.
Yeah. The burrito is very much the beachhead of the Mexico becoming part of the United Kingdom. Yeah. It's unusual, some of the effects of it. If it's a yes vote, the average rainfall in Britain will go down.
Yeah.
The average life expectancy in Britain will go up. And the Wimbledon clock will have to be reset at 78 years. And also saying things like, "You'll have had your tea then," will now be racist.
Because they weren't to begin with.
No, it wasn't anyway. It was just like interregional joshing, whereas now it's across international borders. That's an act of war.
Well, the rhetoric of the No campaign has been very negative.
Yes.
For, for a No campaign.
Yeah.
But it has been. In a way, like, if you think of it as being a breakup, rather than being like, saying, I don't think this is working out and I want to leave you, rather than responding with like, but come on, we're such a great team, the great times we've had together, rather than being like that, the response has been like, you're going to leave. You'd be nothing without me.
Personally, I'm just impressed at the speed with which the No campaign managed to get Kate pregnant. Quite incredible.
Isn't part of the problem, though, is that, the Scots, the English, Welsh and Irish, they've all got very strong identities, whereas when anybody thinks of a British identity, they tend to think of a sort of watered-down English stereotype, more of a sort of Hugh Grant sort of figure. Whereas, of course, that's not the accurate English stereotype, is it? Much more accurate, fat tracksuit and chips getting sucked off in Magaluf, right? But if you think of that, that could easily be Scottish, Welsh or Irish. That is the vision that we should be showing people.
You're right.
The answer is staring you straight in the face, and it is fried chicken. And I know this because I was about 10 years old during the French-Canadian referendum in Canada, and they're really upset. They felt their French culture wasn't being respected in Canada. Now, French-Canadians don't realize they're not considered French anywhere else in the world. But they wanted signage to be all in French, and KFC is KFC in France. But in Quebec, they wanted it PFK, Poulet Frites Kentucky. And they banged on about that for ages. And as far as I remember, I was 10 years old, we gave it to them, and they relaxed.
Wow, that's great. So you would suggest driving vans up to Scotland and just going, "Hey, nous avons des poulets, les poulets frites, yeah."
You can change the name, so it'll be Muck KFC, and Muck McDonald's.
Or we just call it Kilmarnock fried chicken.
Is anyone else worried about the future of the Great British Bake Off?
It's surprising that it hasn't been more of an issue, to be honest.
They're going to rename
There's
it.
3 weeks left. What if they go? That invalidates the result of this series. Bread Week next week.
What, they're doing it just before Bread Week? These people are animals.
I think Britain carries on, though, doesn't it?
Well, does Britain? Yeah.
The United Kingdom just becomes a slightly different thing. But Britain still exists, doesn't it?
Great Britain goes, yeah, it does, yeah.
Great Britain goes, but Britain remains.
Could we scale it down and just become Good Britain?
Yeah. Good deal.
Instead of UK, OK.
Yeah.
Because you've still got Wales. Poor Wales. We won't be the United Kingdom anymore. Wales is like, I'm literally right here.
The No campaign have tried to rebrand the union to make it more sexy, haven't they? So what they've tried to learn from the fact that Brad and Angelina became known as Brangelina, they've tried to take England and Scotland and put them together and call them England.
But this is independence. I'm sorry, I haven't really gotten involved in this at all, right? As an Irish person, you kind of feel, no, this is for you to worry about, like, whatever. Because the issues in Ireland, when we were looking for independence, were very distinctly different. And it was like, at no point during Michael Collins' negotiations of the treaty in 1919 would it have changed if somebody leaned in and go, but what currency will we use? Oh, you're right, sorry, yeah. We hadn't thought this through, actually. Yeah, sorry. But equally, it is kind of weird, because you're going, not a shot fired. This is independence without, like, anyone being killed, look, any countries have gained independence, whatever. This is the most peaceful. We would have loved if independence was going, yeah, I got work, and then I'm going to do coffee, then I'm going to get independence, then I'm going to do Pilates.
It's been the most peaceful so far, but Nigel Farage has yet to go up to Glasgow. It's a nightmare scenario for him, because if Scotland votes yes, immediately he's got 5 million more foreigners massing on England's shores.
They've just brought Gordon Brown in, and he's leading the No campaign. He might he might conceivably get the result he wants, because when he led Labour in the general election, he got a resounding no, didn't he? So
Apparently their secret weapon is they've offered to reduce 5 a day to 3 a day.
The English are worried about losing the oil, but I was thinking, why don't we just, you know, boost up the fracking on the Scottish border, right, to make, you know, good our energy needs, and then if it all goes tits up, we'll have a physical divide as well as a constitutional divide.
You're essentially you want to blow a hole between...
We could then, like, all sit on the side and push it off with our legs.
How deep is the hole that you're hoping to... that you would push and it would just
I'll be absolutely honest with you, I haven't thought through all the implications.
I would say that whatever about the politics, the geology of your suggestion is also relatively weak.
And then we'll drag Mexico into place.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and Gary. Now we play a round called Jock the Week. This game involves Josh and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about the subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is weather. Who wants to spin that? Josh.
My parents live in Devon, where they had these storms earlier this year. I got a very strange text off my mum just before the storms. Just said, Josh, just so you know, the storms are on their way, so I've put the wheelie bin in the shed. Not sure what I'm meant to do with this information. I wasn't going, oh, thank God for that, I've been worrying. That's not what you do before a storm. Go, should we get the kids inside? No, 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 get the wheelie bin in the shed, mate. Take another month to order one of them from the council. I'm watching the news going, terrible storms hit Britain, 14 wheelie bins are missing. I mean, I couldn't care less. I live 250 miles away. How strong are these storms that I need to watch out for the bin? The people I feel sorry for during the storms are the on-the-spot reporters. They are people that know their bosses do not value them at all, are they? They are people who've got to work and the boss has gone, have you heard there's a terrible storm on the way? Do you think I should go home? Better than that, mate. I'm sending you down to the edge of the sea. Where you're going to interview a man whose umbrella is inside out. People I don't like are the people that complain during the storms. People complain their flights were cancelled. I wouldn't complain if my flight was cancelled during the storms. I'd complain if I got to the airport and my flight was the only one that wasn't cancelled. If you got to the airport and they went, EasyJet, flight E4597 is going to have a go for it.
Well done, Josh. OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is transport. Where you go, Gary.
I had a nightmare on the journey over here, and luckily that woke me up just before I ran over a small child. The other day I lost control at a roundabout, and then I went absolutely bonkers on the swings. I stopped in a lay-by, there was a sign saying no dumping. That was all right, I was just having a wee. I joined a breakdown service for Scousers. It's called the AA. Calm down, calm down. If they can't fix your car in an hour, they'll nick you a new one. The Paralympics taught us all that sometimes we should stop and put ourselves in the place of people with disabilities, and I have to say, those parking spaces are brilliant. In the car on the way over here, I kept hearing this annoying, whiny noise. So I pulled over, my girlfriend got out to have a look at the engine, and I drove off. The other night, I saw a couple weaving all over the street. I said, honestly, get a loom. I accidentally filled the Escort with diesel. She died.
OK, points for both of you there. Come on back, come on back. OK. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Cameron's saying to the Welsh people, he's going, look at the kind of guests I bring to countries that don't ask for independence.
Is it the weirdest ever edition of Snog, Marry, Avoid?
I think he might stop me saying, in this relationship, he's me and I'm Nick Clegg.
Is he so posh, Cameron, that he's not playing air guitar, but he's playing air lute?
Is Cameron going? So then the black guy says to the waiter, he's standing right there, isn't he? That would be a diplomatic incident, wouldn't it?
Is he saying, I'll be home late tonight, this one's dragging me out for a pint?
Is this proof that leaders are shape-shifting lizards? That's Cameron Obama and Angela Merkel.
He's going, I've been telling him how you're all going to help me catch the known terrorist Abu Gheveni.
Is he saying, we used to have one of these fellas at the Bullington Club. They used to bring us drinks and play some jazz piano.
No, go to the actual answer.
It is a NATO summit which is being held in Newport.
Yes, indeed. Well done. Thank you very much, Hugh. Yes. This is a picture of US President Barack Obama and Prime Minister David Cameron during the recent NATO summit held at the Celtic Manor Golf Club and Hotel in Newport, South Wales. The summit marks the first time that a serving American president has visited Wales, and talks were dominated by Afghanistan, the situation in Iraq and the conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
I love the idea that lots of world leaders, their first thing they see of Wales is Newport. It is basically, isn't it, if you go there, strip club takeaway, strip club takeaway. If you're a lap dancing chef, you get a lot of work in Newport.
Did they mean to meet in New York, but just have an autocorrect nightmare?
What security measures were implemented for the summit?
Oh, there was a ring of steel.
That was the term used for it.
Which
what was that?
A fence.
Yes, a fence, yes.
Big fence. What they did, they put a fence around... They put it around some of Cardiff as well, around the castle. They should have just... It's a castle.
On reflection, you know, you're right, there is rather a large wall as part of the castle.
But they had, like, SWAT teams, and to 2 a.m. on a Friday night in Cardiff, I want to see the hen party versus SWAT team kick off.
What did Barack Obama do immediately after the summit?
He did a rather extraordinary thing, which was he's got his own helicopter, it's called Marine One.
Yeah.
And Marine One was flying him, I think, to London, and he made it stop on the way because he wanted to see Stonehenge.
He said it was the highlight of his tour. That is Newport for you, ladies and gentlemen.
He's also bloody lucky that when the helicopter landed, it didn't blow all the stones over, because that would have been a disaster.
He said it was part of his buckets list.
Yes.
But it's good that Barack Obama's bucket list contains school trips I did as a kid. I hope going to Cheddar Gorge and Wookey Hole are also on his bucket list.
Barack's no stranger to wonders. I mean, he himself is an unarmed black man in America who's never been shot by the police.
Do you know what I did like about the whole thing, though?
What did you like about the whole thing?
Some of the entertainment that they had.
What did they have as entertainment?
One of the things they were entertained by, Prince Charles's official harp player. Huh?
That's badass.
Because if you think about it, like, I'm not a big royalist, but when you got somebody like Obama rolling into town, there's not many other world leaders can sort of outdo him, you know. You've got to go royal on his ass, you know.
This guy.
Nobody else has got Air Force One or Marine One or anything like that, but you can still go, have you got your own official harpist?
That's pretty sweet. Can you have your own dream sequences? Oh.
But he's the Prince of Wales. Why doesn't he just have whale music? Surely that's more his thing. Is he not that kind of Wales?
No, he's not the Prince of all Wales. It's not like Beastmaster. I call forth the whales.
Do you know what?
with them and my official harp.
But even, I don't believe I have misunderstood that for 40 years.
Even this photo, I like to think he's just said, what, Congress won't let you have your own harpist? Baby, play him something.
We had a harp in our house.
Only the Prince of Wales could afford...
We had a harp in our house.
How Irish are you?
I'm unbelievably Irish. I am the most Irish person of all. Come dance with me in Ireland. We had a harp in the house, yeah.
Were the poor children of your town allowed to come and play the harp?
No,
they didn't have their own.
They would dance as I played. They would dance as I played.
I've got an image of you now as the Pied Piper of Dublin.
Very much
leading the kids away.
They're green culottes.
There will come a court case when they will replay this as evidence.
Yes. I come from a very different world.
Did he have anything? Did he have clothes that you could put on when you were playing the harp?
No, I played it naked. You straddle it. You straddle the harp naked, a leg on either side, right? But you hold your genitals close into the round bit so they're not there, and then you...
And if you're drunk, you just bang it with your lad. Bing, bing, bong. Bing, bing, bong.
I challenge you all. None of you who can play the harp with your penis like I can. None of you. Is there a man here who can play the harp with his penis?
Did you just call it your lad?
Your lad. That's what you call it.
No, it's not.
We're in harp playing country. That's what you call it, right?
I wonder Obama was looking surprised.
Aggressively sexually. Come on. What of it? What of it?
Playing a harp. So you're playing a harp with an organ.
Do you know what? Psychologically, this is doing me the world of good, because my dad was a bishop, so I used to spend quite a lot of my childhood dressing up as a bishop, and I thought I was weird.
Have you still got a harp?
I don't have a harp. There was a harp in the house when I grew up, and it's still there. But yeah.
So now you have to go into, like, music shops to do it and stuff.
I might buy it. I might buy it. Someday.
Sir.
You even play Stairway to Heaven with your lad.
Sir, could you please at least wear a condom? Other people have been trying that hard.
You don't want to get harpies.
Yeah. The neat end of that.
Well, that's the NATO summit covered.
This show, man, it makes some points. It makes some points satirically, you know.
What's wrong, Britain? Too much truth for you?
Yeah, wake up, sheeple. Lifting the wool from your eyes. And with our Josh, Catherine and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely small ads.
For sale, one harp. Really, really used.
For sale, one hang glider. Don't call before 2, as we're attending a funeral.
For sale, engagement ring, never used, would suit Heartless Bitch.
Do you need a dog walker? You lazy bastard.
Comedian seeks new harp for no strings attached sex.
After leaving an abusive relationship, I'm looking for a fresh start. Contact Scotland.
For sale. Freezer. Not working properly. Would make ideal fridge.
Flexible nanny required. My wife only does a missionary position.
For sale. Mitsuki 400 AK X3S with extended cab and vortex box with 2 brushes. Would suit somebody who knows what the fuck it is.
Retired celebrity Lucky Likey seeks alternative employment. Also, for sale, wobble board, didgeridoo and paintbrushes.
Do you enjoy moonlit walks in the park? Then you might have witnessed a murder last Thursday.
Internet troll seeks stupid, fat whore, lesbian bitch for stimulating conversation and walks on the beach.
For sale, book of logic puzzles. Would suit somebody who wants a book of logic puzzles.
Correction. Last week's notice was mistakenly placed in the Men Seeking Men column, but actually I am genuinely seeking someone to demolish my back entrance.
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines from a superhero movie.
Come quick, Batman! Catwoman has just regurgitated Robin at the kitchen door again!
He stopped us again! Damn you, lollipop man!
Hey, Storm! I got something needs blowing.
The Dark Knight rises. Has a quick tug. Goes flaccid again.
Spider-Man is dead. And so is Flyman. Swallowed by There Was an Old Lady Woman.
How is my date with Spider-Man? Well, you know how the average person swallows 7 spiders in their sleep? What if it's like 1 million more than that?
Oh, my God, there's a coach full of children about to fall off a bridge on the M40. Still, not to worry, I can take the M1 instead.
A gas leak at the orphanage. Sounds like a job for me. The Human Torch.
You are the superhero every man wants to see. Girl on girl.
Help! We need to film these scenes quickly. This must be a job for cameraman!
Of all the mutants, Magneto was the hardest to deal with, as he was bipolar.
I am Patient Man. I work out every day, eat a high-fiber diet, and simply outlive my enemies.
Faster than a speeding bullet, stronger than an ox, and that's why we'd like you to piss in this cup.
They're getting away! What do we do, Patient Man? We wait.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Help! I'm stuck in a bath!
I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder if he likes me. I wonder if I'm fat. Wonder Woman.
Is that your advice, Thor? Normally, I just cook from frozen.
The gates to the netherworld are opening! Thor! Hit them with your fucking hammer.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and Gary. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Josh Widdicombe. Thank you for watching. I'm Gara Breen. Good night.
Josh Redder comes back on Saturday morning hosting Fighting Talk. That's on Radio 5 Live from 11. Over on BBC 3 now, Hannah and Dan are going to the funeral of their beloved drama teacher. It's going to be very emotional for the siblings. You're on BBC 2 next. It's Newsnight.